Israel flattened Iran's consulate in Damascus on Monday, killing Tehran's top Qods Force commanders. Are we on the brink of an all-out war between Iran and Israel? What will Tehran's response be? The Israeli response came as after an Iranian-backed Iraqi militia claimed responsibility for a drone attack on an Israeli military base in the port city of Eilat. The Israeli response against the Iranian consulate in Damascus was surgical. It was pinpoint bombardment with the exactness of a surgical procedure, suggesting there was a lot of meticulous planning and intelligence behind the attack, and it wasn't a knee-jerk reaction by the Israelis. The attack carried huge risks, one of them being the consequences of hitting or damaging the other embassy buildings next to the Iranian consulates, which included the Canadian embassy. Although it is abandoned, nevertheless, it is still regarded as part of the Canadian soil, as with any diplomatic compounds. As well as flattening the Iranian consulate building in Damascus, 7 of Iran's top-ranking Qods Force commanders were killed. Most important of those killed was Mohamad Reza Zahedi. He was the head of the Qods Force Unit 2000 since 2008. The Qods Force is the military arm of the Islamic Revolutionary Guards, for which it conducts Iran's external military sabotage and intelligence gathering operations. And the Qods Force's Unit 2000 is specifically tasked with operations in Syria and Lebanon. Previous to this, Zahedi was the head of the Islamic Revolutionary Guards Grand Forces, so a very senior figure in the regime's military, very close to Iran's supreme leader, and possibly the next most senior figure killed after Qasem Soleimani. Even his deputy, Brigadier General Rahimi, was an instrumental figure in the regime's Qods Force. So a devastating blow for the regime in Tehran, but also a huge embarrassment because technically an attack on a diplomatic compound, as I said earlier, is an attack on the country's soil. It's as if Israel has attacked Iranian soil. So what will Iran's response be? As always, it is forced to show some face-saving reaction, at least to its supporters. In the past, it was always a calibrated response to avoid an all-out confrontation. Because although the regime's own stupidity often results in shooting itself in the foot, when it comes to its own survival, for its own existential longevity, it is in fact shown to be prudent and cunning and act with extreme caution. For example, after Qasem Soleimani was killed in Iraq, Iran's response was to attack the US airbase in Iraq. But before doing that, it passed on a warning to the US of the impending attack so that it would not result in any US casualties and give the Trump administration reason to conduct a full invasion against Iran. And so, based on its past form and track record, the analysts, or most of the analysts, are predicting a similar response from Iran, or that Iran will decide to even accept the message from Israel to rein in its militias, especially the Hezbollah, and for the sake of its survival, stay the course because it knows the Iranian population will not back the regime and be its foot soldiers again. Tehran's proxy groups might, but not the vast majority of the Iranians. Not like the war against Iraq when Saddam Hussein's forces invaded Iran, leading to the 8-year war. And most of the Iranian population participated in the war, even those that opposed the regime, because it was a foreign enemy invading Iran. But it's not going to happen this time. Having said that, many people have recently been advocating that the Iranian regime is a paper target. And so if the Ayatollah regime doesn't retaliate this time either, it will convince more people that it is really a brittle, empty shell with nothing substantial inside. So we shall wait and see what happens.